The Inkatha Freedom Party has welcomed the Pretoria High Court's judgment ordering government to exempt some facilities rendering essential services from load shedding. Now, the High Court handing down this judgment on Friday after 19 organizations, including political parties, and there among them the IFP, they took Eskom to court, arguing that load shedding should be declared unconstitutional. Well, the Department of Public Enterprises has been granted 60 days to ensure that schools and hospitals, police stations have enough energy supply. Well, joining us now for some reaction to this is the president of the IFP, Velinkosi Hlabisa. Hlabisa, thank you very much for your time. Let's begin with that 60-day timeline, or should we call it a deadline, that Minister Gordhan's department has to ensure that this happens or it is implemented. The presidency, though, already reacting, I think it was on Friday, they are saying that an appeal is very likely. How do you respond?
Good morning, Loli, and the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Please pardon me, my network might not be good. We are on stage 6 load shedding in our area.
Understood.
Yes, Loli, one is aware that the presidency is contemplating challenging or appealing the decision. It will be unfortunate, Loli, when the government appeals a decision that shows its failure to execute its constitutional responsibility. And it will be unfortunate for the president, because on 30 March, when he addressed the NCOP, he announced that there will be an extension of the number of hospitals that will be exempted from load shedding. This decision is about what he even announced on 30 March in the NCOP. Solely, our government has failed our people. Hospitals, during load shedding, they cannot perform certain duties. Operations in the theater who cannot afford to go to private hospitals is placed on danger. Our learners, especially black learners who are the majority in our country, the schools in which they go during load shedding time, educators cannot perform any act that requires electricity except those children who go to private schools or well-to-do schools.
Yeah.
This, therefore, we is a victory for the multi and quality education 24/7 as well as our hospitals.
Yeah. Well, what it is a victory, Mr. Hlabisa, and I don't doubt that for a moment. However, there is an energy expert, Alvi Lester, who has had 25 years as a general manager at Eskom. He now advises the Western Cape government. He's been quoted in media reports saying that it would be impractical trying to implement this court judgment because it will not only collapse the grid that's already on its knees, but it will choke Eskom's finances. Do you disagree? All right. I think Mr. Hlabisa is frozen at the moment, and in fairness to him, he did warn that they are experiencing load 6 or stage 6 load shedding, and that is to be expected. Unfortunately, it does appear that we may not be able to conclude this conversation. All right, I'm told you are back, sir. Were you able to get that second question?
Yes, totally. I'm saying the government should think outside the box. They have 60 days to look at possible ways to procure generators for schools, hospitals, police stations, and courts. The government will not tell us that they do not have money to do so because the Zondo Commission informed us of billions, if not trillions, which were stolen by the officials of the government of the day. And we saw when we had a challenge of the COVID-19, our government managed to make a turnaround and have money to deal with COVID-19, let alone stealing it. So now, here is an opportunity to ensure that schools, especially attended by black learners in rural areas and townships, hospitals, as well as police stations, operate maximally. This is a constitutional responsibility of our government, which it had failed so many times. The IFP only raised this matter in 2008, that the government infrastructure at Eskom and our government was asleep on duty. It never acted on time. That is why now we said, let us approach the court of law to compel the government to perform its constitutional responsibility.
Yeah. Mr. Hlabisa, you'll forgive me here. I'd like to sway your attention to the coalition governments at our municipal level. On Friday, Kabelo Kwamanda was elected mayor of Johannesburg, completely decimating the coalition that your party is aligned to. Who's to blame for that outcome?
The political parties involved in COJ, especially on the opposition view to the leader of the DA, that if we can't find a way to stand together at COJ, we may as well forget about the Moonshot Pact, because we are thinking of 2024 while people of Johannesburg are let down by the opposition that can elect a credible leadership. Because as you know, Toli, there are rumors already about the new mayor. It's only a matter of time to confirm whether it is true or not. If it can be true, it will be a serious indictment to the people of Johannesburg from the side of the EFF and ANC for failing twice the people of Johannesburg, and again an indictment on the side of the opposition of failing to stand together and root out corruption and inefficient leadership.
Have you already written to John Steenhuisen to say you can kiss your Moonshot Pact goodbye?
Actually, we had a meeting on Wednesday where we said, let us prioritize the issue of COJ and find a common ground in order to pave a way for the Moonshot Pact. Because in a coalition, you have to be patient with each other. You need to give each other a second chance to rebuild the community which we want to see thriving in our country. And again, I'm going to raise this matter with the leader of the DA, that as long as the opposition cannot stand together on a simple and immediate matter at COJ, the Moonshot Pact might experience a challenge of attracting opposition parties to think about 2024 at COJ.
Yeah. Finally, Babu Hlabisa, this is something that I thought, just reading it, it seemed laughable, but it does seem that it is quite serious. The T-shirt resolution in your party, the understanding is that because of a transgression that you allegedly committed by taking a picture with a fellow party member who was wearing a T-shirt bearing your face, now you have apparently been called into a meeting and this could lead to your suspension. Talk to us about that. Is it true?
Sorry, that is not true. There is no meeting in which I've been called into. that might lead to suspension. But let me say this one truly. The internal discussion is not for, is the right office to respond on that matter.
All right. Thank you very much for clarifying that for us. That's the president of the IFP, Mr. Velinkosi Hlabisa. Thanks indeed for your time.